See how the neat edges of the blanket are facing towards the end of the bolster, so they'll be the edge under your neck. Then go ahead and take a seat in front of your bolster and spread the legs the width of the mat, lining the heels up with the corners of your mat. Now check that you have about a fist distance between your lower back and the bolster, and then turn the legs out, so the inner legs are rolling to the outer legs, the inner feet to the little toes, and then go ahead and lie back down on the bolster. Lift the buttocks up and move them towards the heels to make sure the lumbar stays long, and then place your head on the blanket. Just observe, feel your stability, roll the shoulders back. You may need to adjust a little bit, move the trapezius muscles down the back and check that both sides of the neck are even. Both sides of the face, the temples, even. The arms should be extended out to the side, not as high as the shoulders, but certainly not touching the bolster or the side of the body. So there should be space between the arm and the side body and space in the armpit. Closing the eyes, beginning to make yourselves quiet and silent, observing through these first few breath cycles the freedom in your inner body, the ascendance that comes by resting on the shape of the block and feeling the chest open, the rib cage open, the sternum lift. Watch the breath and how it moves, how it can touch gently every area of the body, bringing a slow, gentle awakening everywhere that it passes. Keep relaxing the body completely, yet feeling the front chest lift, the inner walls of the sternum broaden and ascend. And when you exhale, make sure to keep that expansion, that broadness, that inner liftingness, that inner freedom. Slow, soft inhalation. Slow, soft, and passive exhalation. When you inhale, avoid pulling the inhalation up to the brain. Instead, spread the inhalation through the cavities, through the sinus passages, through the inner ears, in such a manner that every cell in the brain feels that it's getting separated, aerated. And with the soft exhalation, feel the brain cells receding quietly. Slow, soft inhalation. Slow, passive exhalation. Observe the breath in such a manner that it spreads quietly and evenly without any sudden pulls or pushes. No tightness, no hardness. Keep allowing the front shoulders to roll back, the collarbones to lengthen. And check that the inner arms are rolling towards the outer arms, the little pinkies are moving towards the thumbs. Check that the lumbar is still long, that the inner groins are moving to the outer thighs, the inner knees to the outer knees, the inner ankles to the outer ankles, and the big toes to the little toes. Smooth, soft breath. Keep the temples passive, the eyebrows passive, the eyelids quiet. A total relaxation of the facial muscles and the facial skin, so that there's a neutrality, an absence of expression. Slow, soft breath. With an exhalation, relax the hips, relax the groins, relax the root of the thighs. Feel the root of the thighs descending. And from there, lengthen the abdomen, gently lift the chest. So connecting the descent of the legs to the ascendance of the front spine. Without any force, without any pushing, just observing that ascendance. As we make the legs heavy, the front spine lengthens. The sternum lifts. The side rib cages broaden. Remaining quiet and silent. Soft, slow, and smooth breath. Ensure that the lumbar is not being pressed into the body. and gently internally make space for the lumbar to lengthen on the mat towards the heels. Feel this, and feel the corresponding opening and length in the abdominal cavity. Observe the brain through the breath, dissolving tension with each breath cycle. Don't allow the inhalation to puff the brain cells. Don't let the inhalation inflate the brain. Instead, during the inhalation, feel a softness and aeration coming to the brain. The brain cells don't have to put physical energy into the inhalation. They can remain quiet and passive as you breathe. Feel them receding. Feel them softening. Feel them relaxing. Feel space in the brain cells themselves. Spaciousness with each breath. And after the inhalation, when it's time for the exhalation, a slow, soft exhalation in such a way that the brain cells are not squeezed, that they remain spacious and aerated, passive. If the facial skin is at all tightened, the eyes, the ears, the tongue, then the brain will be affected. So relax the eyes, the eyebrows, the eyelids. Let the eyeballs rest in the eye sockets. Let the temples relax, the cheeks, the lips, the chin, the tongue. Observe even the space in the internal cavities. For instance, the sinuses, the membranes of the nostrils. Are they too dry? Are they too moist? Slow, soft inhalation. Slow, passive exhalation. Keep observing the connection between the facial senses of perception and the brain, so that with each breath there's a deeper understanding of how crucial it is to adjust the facial skin and muscles in such a manner that they're passive, making the brain cells passive. And when the brain cells become quiet and passive, inert, receding in this way, then there will be a quietness settling into the body. The body will relax. A deep relaxation. When the brain relaxes, the body takes an inner shape of softness. So maintain that state of quietness and deeper physical relaxation. And observe the shape, the imprint of softness that starts to express itself in the body. Dissolve all tightness, all hardness. Nerve to nerve, relax. De-straining, untaxing the nervous system. The nerve pathways have a direct effect also on the brain. So using the exhalation and the qualities of observation to remain more and more quiet. Soothing the nervous system. Dissolving hardness. Letting go. Keep the tongue in a restful state. The root of the tongue also affects the tightness or softness of the brain. Don't allow the tongue to move up towards the upper palate. Let it descend towards the throat. Unpuffy. Quiet. The jaw soft. The throat soft. Smooth, soft inhalation. Smooth and passive exhalation. Noticing the rhythm of the breath, the rhythmicness of the slow, soft and smooth breath. Observing each section of the torso becoming aerated. Study the inhalation and find out where that breath is touched inside. And followed by a slow, soft exhalation. A slow, soft inhalation. A slow, soft exhalation. Rhythmic in the sense that there should be balance, harmony. No overdoing or no underdoing. A rhythm that brings no hardness, no tightness, no forcing of the body. Establishing a deep passivity, a deep neutrality. Slow, soft inhalation, slow, soft exhalation. Sometimes the sensations may feel fragmentary. One inhale will touch in some areas, the next inhale will touch in other areas, and the next inhale will touch another area. But gently linking these together as the senses become more subtle, more sensitive, so that there's an understanding of the experience. Over time, over rhythmic breaths, harmonizing and integrating these fragments of experience. Feeling that sensitivity of a receiver. Receiving. Letting everything be quiet. Everything be soft. And at the right moment, when the body needs it, having a deep breath. Allowing it, not creating it, letting it happen. Letting the body breathe. Watching the body's flow. Observing the body's rhythm. Receiving in this way. Resting as awareness. Soft, smooth breath. Maintaining this connection with the softness of the brain. Receiving. Observing. Resting entirely as that awareness. And now having a few cycles of breath that are deeper than normal. Energizing the chest a little bit. Moving the fingers, moving the toes. And then bringing the hands onto the abdomen, onto the trunk. Allowing that awareness to include the external world. Without losing contact with the softness, the passiveness, the inner spaciousness, and the rhythm of the breath. And then, very gently, very slowly, without any brusque motions, bend your knees slightly towards you and roll over to the right-hand side, supporting the right-hand skull with your right hand. And just lie here in the fetal position, without anticipating getting up yet, inert, with the gravitational force, being in that awareness. And then softly, gently, using the hands, push yourself back up to sitting. We're now going to remove the blanket from the bolster and put it at the end of the mat. And we're going to take the bolster and place it at the other end, so it's going to go underneath our knees. And then we're going to lie back down on the mat, flat on the ground this time, and extend the arms to the side away from the trunks, having moved the buttocks down towards the heels to keep the lumbar straight. Check that the sides of the neck are even, that the temples are even. Establish that there's comfort and evenness, stability, and then gently close the eyes. Let the eyebrows, the eyelids become passive, and resume the slow, soft inhalation and the slow, soft, passive exhalation. In the inhalation, widening the bottom ribs, feeling them open, broaden to the left, to the right. Observe whether that action is coming, being experienced. And slowly exhale, seeing that the brain remains quiet and empty. That all hardness is dissolved. Allow both eyes to recede deeper and deeper towards the brain. The inner walls of the nostrils soft. The nose extending downwards, releasing all folds in the membranes of the nostril. Let go with the palms, the fingers, the knuckles, the thumbs. Observe how as the awareness grows, more feeling comes, more sensitivity. A slow, soft inhalation. The brain cells passive, no puffing. A slow, soft exhalation, no squeezing in the brain. Receive the breath and observe how the breath is received. The inhale, the exhale. And when the brain is further quietened, how is the breath received? Feel the inner eardrums becoming more and more passive. Soft, smooth inhalation. Soft, smooth, and passive exhalation. As you open the bottom ribs for the inhalation, observe how it keeps the opening of the upper chest smooth, which in turn helps teach the brain to stay quiet. So on the inhalation, gradually opening the bottom ribs, opening slowly and smoothly, and observing the further quietness of the brain cells. Forehead smooth. The frontal brain must recede backwards. Instead of actively reaching forwards to the forehead, keep allowing the frontal brain to recede further and further backwards. Let a deep quietness settle in the front brain so that it rests. It becomes passive to receive. Relax the mouth cavity, the root of the tongue going back into the throat, making the brain further quiet. Soft, smooth inhalation. Soft, smooth, and passive exhalation. Everything is receding. Everything is dissolving. Everything is melting back into the earth. Then gradually, bending the knees so that the soles of the feet come to the floor, and gently rolling over to the right-hand side into the fetal position, supporting the skull with the right hand. Keep the eyes closed, the eyeballs quiet, the brain soft. Keep that slackness in the body, that restfulness, that release. And then softly, gently using the hands to push yourself up so that there's no strain. Just come and sit on the bolster, crossing the ankles in front of you in Sukhasana. Reaching with your hands, pull the buttock bones back and out to the side so you're placing yourself well on the inner sit bones. And place the backs of the hands on the roots of the thighs. Sitting straight and tall with the back erect. Feeling the ascendance of the chest rising upwards with the inhalation. Feeling a tallness and an uprightness that's a reflection of space created inside. Having closed the eyes, continue to look within. The chest opening to the side, the front. The brain quiet. Feeling a peaceful existence in every cell of the body. An aeration. A spaciousness. A sense of existing everywhere. Existing with that fullness, with that wholeness. Nothing partially. Fully. Presence everywhere. Being quiet and calm. The brain cells receding, but full of awareness in the body. Now bending the elbows and lifting the hands, press the palms together in front of the chest. And continue to feel the stability of this state. Quietness, calmness, observing the breath. Observing the brain. And then gently dropping the chin towards the chest, releasing in a final gesture that brain to the seat of the heart. Before lifting the head back up, releasing the hands, and gently opening the eyes. Namaste. Welcome back to this reality.